Hello everyone, thank you so much and welcome back to The Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. Your auntie Sheila. Look, we've got it all here, folks. Mental health, movement, motivation, and the best, you better believe it, the best relationship advice around. If you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. You know how we start out. We start out with a wish. Go ahead and make your wish on the magical water sprout here. All we need is to be present. Go ahead and make your wish. I'm going to close my eyes and do exactly the same thing. All right, wonderful. You know, it's something interesting I want to share with all of you. I was out here the other day, and I'll tell you, it was not as beautiful and sunny as it is. I'm going to kind of do a panoramic view for everyone. It's gorgeous. But there was a little rain, you know, a little inclement weather, and there wasn't a lot of people out here. I want to remind you that the walk of life, this walk that I'm doing, this is symbolic, everyone. It's the walk of life. And it's not always going to be sunny. I'm encouraging you, get your gym shoes on and walk with me. Now, the only time that you will see me, you know, slow it down a little bit, if some thunder is out here. Now, I love all of you, but we got to have some limits and boundaries here. But other than that, I'm going to be out here walking. You guys, let's dive in. Let's do it the way we always do it. And start out. Our title today is Tough Relationships and How to Overcome Them. I received an interesting letter from Judy, and my heart went out, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. I think most of you can relate with this. Sheila, I've been struggling in 2 relationships for the longest time. One is with my 26-year-old daughter. She is wild, dates reckless, and could have so much more. She won't listen. The other is with her father. We are divorced now for seven years, and we still fight like we are unhappily married. I need to break the cycle. Please, any advice, any words you can offer, help me. Well, Judy, as always, you've come to the right place at the right time. And I really want to jump into this and just be very candid with all of you, because the channel, we are focused on solutions. You know, a lot of times you'll tune in, people want to hear themselves talk. That's not what this channel is about. It really has to do with solutions. So Judy, anyone else who's listening, I do want you to weigh in, because these relationships can really challenge us. And I have to tell you, some of the toughest relationships are the ones where you're gonna learn the most. You know? What did we ever learn when a relationship was easy? We enjoy those relationships. You know, the sparkly, sunshiny, hold hands, skip through the forest. We enjoy those relationships. But what have you learned? What have you learned? So the first thing I want to say to all of you, this is the clue that I want you to catch. The more difficult and challenging the relationship is, the more difficult and challenging the relationship is, the greater the gift of the lesson that you have an opportunity to learn. So first and foremost, 2 things I'm going to share with you. Again, Judy and everyone else who's listening. If you are struggling with a tough relationship and you really want to know the secret of finding relief, stop looking at the relationship and start looking toward the lesson. Start asking yourself, what is it? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? Because you know what? Friendship is not hard. Love is not hard. It's just not. Romance, when it's healthy, is not hard. Family relationships, when they're healthy and when they're good, it's not hard. You know, I'm of the mind that whoever I meet, whatever I'm going through, there's two options. They're either here to bring me joy or they're here to teach me. Again, bring me joy or here to teach me. And Judy, I want to say a couple things. You mentioned that your daughter, 26 years old. Let's talk about 26. You know, at 26, you no longer, you have influence in her life. You definitely have the influence, but darling, you don't have the control. And I get the sense from your note, and I only read a part of the note because some of them are very long. You guys got to work on making them a little shorter. But I get the feeling that you're focused on really getting your message across, and your frustration is she's not listening. She's not listening. And this has been going on for a long time. So working backwards, I want you to really think about that. I'm crying, I'm frustrated. This has been going on, seems like forever and a day. Is there a lesson in there for me? Is there a lesson about understanding and respecting my daughter's journey? Only you can answer this question, because the lessons are different for everyone. That's what I want you to understand. I've been very candid with all of you. I talked about a very toxic, painful relationship that I had, but I want to go further today and share with you that there have been 3 relationships. And when I say that they were tough, they were the most painful relationship. One was with a family member. One was with someone that I mistakenly thought was a friend. I use that term loosely. And then the other person was an ill-fated attempt to have a relationship. Big mistake, right from the very start. And I will have to tell you, buckets of tears, my stomach was in knots multiple times in these relationships. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there were some high points, but I think some of you can relate with what I'm gonna say here. The high points just did not, they certainly didn't compensate at all for the lows that I experienced. And so what was I doing? It was the grand mistake of a lifetime. I doubled down. My pattern was to double down for dear life, holding on to it. Sheila's the one. She's the hero, the rescuer. She's gonna save the day. She's gonna get everything figured out. You see, that was my pattern. And that was my story. Save the day, get it all figured out. Everything was my fault. And it's so interesting about relationships and how magnificent God is. He curates these relationships. He brings the right people into our lives at the right time to ensure growth and elevation. And as painful as these relationships were, I was literally forced. I was forced into growth, because it was either sit there and continue to bang my head against the wall, or back up and start asking some really, really tough questions. And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, the person has appeared in your life. It could be a child. It could be a significant other. It could be a coworker. The person has appeared in your life specifically for you to face a pattern, for you to face and to break a debilitating pattern of being, a pattern of thinking. I think back to the relationship with this man. I'm not going to say gentleman anymore. I'm going to say a man. And I will tell you how many times I was disappointed, let down, talked to in any kind of way. I think back on those moments now. You guys, I cringe. I cringe, and I celebrate in the sunshine and the light of day what the Lord has done for my life. But that happened. That was the walk that I needed to take to emerge as an empowered woman supporting all of you. It was absolutely debilitating. But when I stopped asking the question, why me? Why are you taking me through this, Lord? Why me? I switched it up. And the new question is, love cannot be this hard. What do you need me to learn? Please illuminate it for me. And then you work backwards. And when I started working backwards, how you do that? You pick out the pain point. What is the pain point in the relationship? Well, the pain point in the relationship, I feel disempowered. What's the pathway? What's the pathway to tackle and battle your disempowerment? I've told you all on this channel before, I was a muzzled woman. A muzzled woman. Well, Sheila, wouldn't it be the right time now to start speaking up? So you work backwards and stop focusing. I'll say again, stop focusing on the relationship and start focusing on the lesson that you are supposed to learn. Judy, you are divorced from this man for 7 years. You know, in all truth and honesty, the divorce should have taken care of the headaches. The divorce should have taken care of the arguments. What are you fighting about at this point? Why does this person still have the ability to hook you, cause you to lose sleep, restless nights, as you describe it? What is the lesson that he came into your life to teach you? What is the lesson that is so strong that even in the midst of a divorce, post-divorce, you're free as a bird, and yet you're still entangled? You're still entangled with him. There's a lesson, and as soon as you start learning it, the hooks that are in you are going to be released. As soon as you start learning it, I can promise you that. Your daughter, 26, wild, free, as you describe it, she's dating wild. I have a daughter. I can tell you right now, I've told you all before, I light candles for this baby. I pray for her every day. Right now, she's going to be 10 years old. I pray for her partnership. I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to suffer. But I do realize there's going to come a point in time that I have influence, but I don't have the control. And Judy, it's really time to get clear on that, because you're going to suffer. At this point in time, what you can do is what you've been doing likely all her life. Plant the seeds. Plant the seeds. You're screaming at her, you're yelling at her. That doesn't work, particularly for adults. I want you to step back, start asking her questions. Well, sweetie, I'm listening to what you're saying, because she comes back to you and tells you about all this stuff going on in relationships. I hear what you're saying, but I wonder when you're going to look in the mirror and realize what a gorgeous soul you are. I wonder when you're going to take all that God-given potential and soar, instead of chasing after these people who do nothing but drain you. You see, that's a different approach. That's a different approach. Might that be in the mix? Might that be in the mix of the lessons? That buffet of lessons that it's time to start embracing and really learning from the inside out? I'm going to say one more time. When the relationship is tough, I want you to stop looking toward the relationship for the solutions and start looking at the lesson. What am I here? What am I here to learn? And it's interesting, those 3 relationships that I told you about that were my toughest relationships in my life to date, my approach was to hang on. I was manipulated every which way, sideways, up and down. But at the end of the day, all God wanted me to get was, baby, it's okay to let go. Let go. That was very difficult for me. Let go. This one is not good for you. This one gives you a headache. This one at every turn lets you down. And you're spinning your wheels repeatedly. They don't make you happy. Can't you see that your stomach is in knots? Even just the thought of, oh my goodness, another weekend, a dinner. Can't you see you're not your best self? You have to learn to let go. I learned the lesson eventually. And I'll tell you now, the words of my grandpa Hood have never been truer. If I'm struggling, if this is not working, you know what I say? Let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. That's it. That's it. I'm not hustling anymore, stress and strife. You know why? Because I understand the secret of life. It's not that hard. When it's right and when it's good, it doesn't make you feel sick on the inside. So Judy, the advice that I give is solid. It's sound. That foundation was poured many, many years ago. And I encourage you to get quiet. This is work. You don't just do this on the fly. This is work where you need to get quiet, get into some sanctuary time, and start asking yourself some questions. What has been the repeated trend in this relationship? What is it time for me to learn? What is it time for me to look at from the inside out? Okay, everyone, we're here at our root tree. We get a second wish when we get to the root tree, and that's make a foundational wish. I'm making my wish right now. Pick out a root for yourself. and make a wish on it. Really, you can make as many wishes as you want. It's just kind of fun to do it this way. Okay, so you made your wish. Great. I think what I want to share with all of you as we wrap up this walk, life is short. You know, I have a sister, she passed away at age 35. She had small children she left behind. I've seen so much death. I've seen unexpected things happen. You guys, make your mind up today to just, you put a stop to the madness. These tough relationships, the beautiful part is when you get those lessons, the byproduct, they stop being tough. The relationships stop being tough. You can actually chuckle where you used to cry. You will laugh. Those relationships that had me in knots, many days when I'm walking, riding my bike, I just chuckle to myself. I just chuckle to myself because you know what? It's not a problem. All it is a distant memory. I get it. I took the lesson and walked forward. So y'all, thank you so much. We're going to be doing a lot more walks. Put on your shoes. Come out here with me. I'm going to be doing some extended walks. I love your letters. You can send me your letters. Sheila at robinson-kiss.com. Send your letters. I answer them as quickly as I can, but you have to understand it's just one of me. So please send them through. If you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. Bye-bye.